Good day, this is JNN Weekday News. I'm Unique Francis. Here now are the top stories. Presiding Judge Lennox Campbell has started his summation in the murder trial of entertainer Vybz Kartel and 4 co-accused in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston today. The trial resumed this morning after the defense wrapped up closing arguments last week. Kartel, whose given name is Alicia Palmer, Sean Storm Campbell, Shane Williams, Andre St. John, and Kahira Jones are being tried for murder in the alleged death of Clive Lizard Williams on August 16, 2011. It is alleged that Williams was lured to Kartel's Havendale St. Andrew home, where he was beaten to death. Jamaica's Ministry of Labour has launched a media campaign aimed at engendering widespread support for the rights of household workers throughout the country. The campaign comes as members of the Jamaica Household Workers Union increased calls for the government to ratify the International Labour Organization ILO Convention 189, advancing decent work for domestic workers. Errol Miller, Chief Technical Director in the Labour Ministry, has confirmed that the matter with the Attorney General for an opinion as to whether a recommendation can be made for the government to ratify the convention. According to Mr. Miller, ratification is dependent on Jamaica bringing its laws in sync with the convention, which is an agreement to protect the rights of household workers around the world. Governments which signed the convention agree to change local laws and take actions to protect the rights of these workers. Now, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen has announced the appointment of retired Court of Appeal Judge Justice Carl Harrison and Professor Alvin Wint as selected members of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica (ECJ). The appointments took effect on March 1st and will run for 7 years. King's House says Justice Harrison and Professor Wint are replacing Dr. Herbert Thompson and Justice Clarence Walker, who were not available for reappointment. The 2 newest ECJ members will serve with ECJ Chairman Dorothy Pine McClarity and Earl Jarrett. The 15-member CARICOM grouping says it is deeply concerned about the ongoing political developments in Ukraine. The group is calling for an end to the tensions to prevent possible bloodshed. CARICOM says it supports the people of Ukraine in their efforts to settle their differences peacefully and says Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity must be respected. CARICOM is also calling for the use of international mediation or negotiations to address security and human rights concerns in Ukraine under the auspices of the United Nations. The CARICOM community says it will continue to monitor developments within Ukraine and hopes for peace and calm as political and economic stability are restored within that country. And in sports, a stroke-failed maiden century by Dinesh Ramdane just wasn't enough as England held on to defeat the West Indies by 25 runs in the deciding third and final one-day international yesterday at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in North-South Antigua. Ramdane's 128 to the first ODI 100 by a West Indies wicketkeeper lifted the home side from 43 for 4 in pursuit of a daunting target of 304 when he was last out with a total on 278, bowled by Tim Bresnan, having taken 14 runs off the first 3 deliveries of the 48th over. The 3-match T20 series starts on Sunday, March 9 in Barbados. Meanwhile, data released this week by the Bank of Jamaica show the country recorded an increase in remittance inflows in 2013. Net remittances for January to December totaled US $1.8 billion, which represented a growth of 49 million or 2.8% relative to 2012. The outturn for the review period reflected an increase in gross remittance inflows and a contraction in outflows. For the review period, total remittance inflows were just over $2 billion, an increase of 22.5 million or 1%. Inflows were above the average of US $1.95 billion for the previous 5 corresponding periods. The central bank also revealed that remittance inflows for the calendar year were marginally above the pre-crisis outturn for 2008. Total remittance inflows reflected an increase of US $20.1 million in inflows through other remittances and an increase of US $2.4 million inflows via remittances companies. And those were our headlines for this hour. Remember, we stream live on our website at JamaicaNewsNetwork.com. I'm Unique Francis, and this is JNN News Worth Watching.